We began tonight with a big showdown at the Democratic debate. Both Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders reiterated their push to reform the criminal justice system. The two also clashed on the issue of gun control and health care. Sanders and Clinton, as well as candidate Martin O'Malley, agree on not sending a large number of troops to Syria. We'll have a recap on the debate tomorrow morning on News Leader 9. 3 Americans freed in a prison swap with Iran have arrived in Germany. The 3 men were given a medical checkup and reunited with their families. Those released are an American reporter, a Marine veteran, and a Christian pastor. In exchange, the U.S. released 7 Iranians convicted of sanctions violations. Earlier today, they walked free from detention in the United States.
And to my fellow Americans, today we're united in welcoming home sons and husbands and brothers who in lonely prison cells have endured an absolute nightmare. But they never gave in and they never gave up. At long last, they can stand tall and breathe deep the fresh air of freedom.
A 4th prisoner decided not to leave Iran after his release. Well, the cold weather appears to be sticking to us this week, with the change coming midweek perhaps. Here to tell us more is Elizabeth Giamore.
Thanks, Roslyn. Yeah, we had that cold air shuffle in today, really dropped those temperatures. We're about 10 degrees colder with those highs today than we were on Saturday. It was a gorgeous Saturday, much cooler Sunday, but we still had clear skies, lots of sunshine, so it was enjoyable. Well, the cold weather will stick with us through this coming week, but the real story is going to be those feel-like temperatures. Right now, we're already seeing the big issue. 40 degrees is the air temperature, but feeling more like 35 when you factor in that northwest wind at 7 miles per hour. So 5 to 7 really across the entire area, making things feel a bit on the chilly side no matter where you are across the southeast. We're in the 30s and 40s out there this evening. Of course, a little cooler to our north there. But tomorrow morning, we're all going to be in the low 30s, upper 20s. So right at 30 degrees, but those feel like temperatures where they're going to be well down into the 20s. We'll talk about all of that and a look ahead at your Martin Luther King Day holiday forecast all coming up. Roslyn.
All right. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. An Opelika police officer under investigation for shooting a man is now cleared of any wrongdoing. Chief John McCarron released a statement saying due process has been followed and he stands behind the findings of the Lee County grand jury. McCarron is referring to Officer Jared Greer. Police say he shot and killed 56-year-old Bernardo Tigner after Tigner resisted arrest and pulled a small caliber handgun on an officer last October on Comanche Drive. Tonight, the Columbus Police Department is investigating an armed robbery. It happened last night just after 7 at the Handy Mart on Casita Road. The suspect pointed a gun at the clerk, then forced the man to hand over money from the cash register. No one was hurt. The driver accused of the killing of a man in a fatal car crash is due in court tomorrow morning. 24-year-old Derek Ingram is now charged with vehicular homicide and DUI. Saturday's fatal car crash happened on Woodruff Farm Road earlier this evening. A vigil was held in honor of 25-year-old Kevin Foy, who was killed in that crash. The vigil took place in the parking lot of Fort Middle School. That's where the fatal crash happened. An Army veteran is doing his part to make life easier for soldiers transitioning to civilian life by using farming and agriculture. News Leader 9's Irisha Jones has more about the program helping to heal veterans in a unique way.
John Jackson is a Ranger and Army veteran. After several IED missions, he was left with PSTD and traumatic brain injury. After retirement last year, he started Stag Vets, a nonprofit organization that helps provide treatment and care for veterans suffering with the same issue. As part of Stag Vets, Jackson is using newly acquired land called Comfort Farms in Milledgeville as a way of healing for veterans to get their minds off war.
And in 1 week, we've received over like $30,000 in materials and funds to help us get this project started.
Veterans from all over can come to the farm to help plant fresh products, raise farm animals, and learn culinary techniques.
You know, a lot of the veterans that have come back from Iraq and Afghanistan find themselves displaced. They could go work at a regular job, but a lot of those things are not working out for them. You know, farming and agriculture is pretty much like the military. You know, you got to wake up a certain time to feed the animals. Things have to be done. You got to constantly plan. You got to be strategic.
Jackson named the farm after his Ranger friend, Cal Comfort. He was killed in action May 8, 2010 in Afghanistan.
Every farm starting here in Georgia, every farm that we stand up, we're going to name after a fallen comrade that either died in combat or fell to suicide.
So far, the organization has helped more than 500 veterans and their families. In Columbus, Arisha Jones for WTVM News Leader 9.
Certainly an awesome project now to extend Stag Vets and Comfort Farms. Jackson says he's hoping to acquire more farmland throughout the state of Georgia in the future. Stag Vets was once based in Columbus. On Tuesday, Columbus Mayor Teresa Tomlinson will give her annual State of the City address. The mayor is expected to review the city's progress for 2015 and outline the agenda for this year. The event will be held at 11 a.m. at the Columbus Trade Center. Again, that is this Tuesday, January 19th. A new state representative could be named in East Alabama this week. Voters will go to the polls on Tuesday, January 19th for a special election. Polls in Lee and Russell counties will be open from 7 in the morning until 7 that evening Central. That's 8 to 8 Eastern Time. Chris Blackshear, James McGill, and Tommy Pugh are vying for the seat held by the late Representative Leslie Vance. He passed away in November following a long illness. Also in Alabama, where dogs are not only known for being man's best friend, but also for their remarkable sense of smell, Auburn University has been a forerunner in developing dogs that can sniff out explosives and contraband. Well, now they're leading the way again as they first to use a method that could determine if a canine has the makings of a detector dog. Rosanna Smith has the details.
Hutch the German Shepherd is just one of 40 iCanine dogs that Auburn University researchers are working with to determine just how their brains process odor information. Using the Awake Dog training system developed here at Auburn, these canines are trained to enter an MRI machine, place their head in the correct position, and remain still while the scanning occurs with no anesthesia. By presenting different odors to the dog's nose while awake during the scans, researchers will be able to determine if dogs have a neural market that can predict their detection abilities. This could ultimately save time and money when it comes to finding and training suitable working dogs.
Dogs' olfactory capabilities are used extensively, as you can imagine, in airports, national defense and whatnot, even in war zones. And it costs a lot of money to produce them. This is kind of an MRI test. Before they go into this detector dog training, can you actually give them some odors, see what happens in their brain, and if they have a very positive response and more response to these odors, then you could probably say that they would become good detector dogs. So this is really kind of cutting edge.
The researchers hope the findings from this 2-year study will result in a test that can be used by agencies nationwide. Rosanna Smith in Auburn, WTVM News Leader 9.
The research is being funded using a $1 million grant from the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. If you take Double Churches Road in Columbus, listen up. Starting Monday, the eastbound lanes of Double Churches Road in the area between Forston Road and Veterans Parkway will be closed. Officials are asking drivers to take the detour route they have set up. Officials expect this construction to last about a month. For more information, you can visit our webpage, WTVM.com, under the home page. Well, tomorrow marks the 30th annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast Award. Well, it is an annual tradition here in the Fountain City, sponsored by the Columbus Alumni Chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. The event will take place at the Columbus Trade Center at 7 in the morning. Special guests include Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III. Dr. Moss is the pastor of President Obama's former church, Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago. Also on tomorrow, local government and federal offices will be closed in observance of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. There will be no trash pickup and no Metro bus services. The 311 Citizen Service Center will also be closed. Administrative offices for Parks and Recreations and the Civic Center will also be closed, but the facilities like the ice rink and parks will be open on tomorrow. Officials in Tennessee are desperately searching for a missing 2-year-old boy. And officials in Alabama make a dramatic rescue after a teenage girl is trapped in a cave for 8 hours.
And here's your Colony Bank fishing game forecast for your Martin Luther King Day holiday. Best times to get out will be 9 a.m. and 9:20. I'm telling you, it's going to be cold in the morning. We'll talk about all that coming up after the break.
you can count on. This is WTVM News Leader 9.
In Alabama, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office ended a cave rescue this morning. Crews from 4 states gathered in Jackson County to help a teen girl who was trapped yesterday evening. Officials say a 15-year-old girl went tumbling 3/4 of a mile down into a cave when a large rock fell on her leg. She was exploring with a group. Teams from Kentucky, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama worked to free the girl who was in the cave for around 8 hours. Authorities in Tennessee are searching for a missing toddler. 2-year-old Noah Chamberlain was missing since Thursday afternoon. The boy was with his grandmother and sister hiking that is, in the woods behind the grandmother's house when he was lost. Some volunteers helping to search for the missing boy were even reported lost at one point, but authorities say they were not lost, but they just dehydrated and were forced to stop searching. Officials say there is still a huge amount of the area to cover.
Well, there's trails all over the area, and he was on a trail when he went missing. We have searched all around those trails. I wouldn't be afraid to say there was hundreds of miles of trails.
Hundreds of officials and volunteers will be searching for the missing child throughout the night. 2 people are dead and 4 injured tonight after a tornado hits Manatee County, Florida. Manatee County is located on the west coast of Florida. Siesta Key and Sarasota were hit the hardest as storms pounded Central Florida overnight. Now, Florida Power and Light reported more than 39,000 customers were without power earlier this morning.
You don't realize how much power and impact that a tornado has until you see this. I mean, it's pretty devastating. From my house on down to the end of the street, almost every house has pretty significant damage. This one obviously got the brunt of it. Heart goes out to the family. That's rough. That's rough.
The National Weather Service forecasts strong and gusty winds throughout the night. Such an unfortunate situation there happening, Elizabeth. And as you were saying, there were several tornadoes, not just one.
Not just one. Yeah, several across Central and South Florida over the night and caused a ton of damage, injuries. But yeah, sad situation there. And they're not unheard of in South Florida, but kind of like here at Fort Benning, we hear about people that just don't have them very often, so they don't know what to do. It's kind of the same case there. But
well, hopefully they'll get some help there real soon.
Definitely. Well, our weather just cold over the next couple of days. We had that cold air come in just earlier today, and it's going to stick with us for the next few. So what's trending? Hey, don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram this week when you're out and on the go. We'll have the latest of the forecast on all 3 of those platforms there, but a frigid few mornings. Temperatures will be below average for the next few mornings as we head towards the work week. And as we head towards the end of this work week, we'll have more rain changes back into the forecast. Our best coverage of rain right now is going to be Thursday into Friday. We'll have a slight chance of rain Wednesday, late Wednesday, with a first round of showers, and then we'll have a second round of showers as we head towards the end and bring in with that good coverage of rain. The good news is as we head towards the weekend, as of now, the rain coverage will be backing off, and a warmer weekend. As we head throughout the week, we'll see a nice little warming trend taking highs back down or back up into the mid-50s and even 60s for some by the end of the week. Satellite and radar right now, though, showing a very quiet picture. Remember, satellite shows you the clouds out there. Not really any clouds and no rain, keeping things very quiet. A little breezy, though, a northwest breeze at 5 to 10 miles per hour, making those feel-like temperatures well below the air temperature. So very chilly across the area. Nothing like they're seeing up to our north, though. I wanted to show you this, the situation elsewhere. They're looking at feel-like temperatures in the negative 25 degrees there in Minneapolis, negative 17 in Chicago. So remember, the feel-like temperature is what it feels like on your skin. But we're going to be dealing with it over the next couple days. Nothing like the negatives here in the Chattahoochee Valley, but still cold as we start off our Monday morning, and even colder for Tuesday morning. So if the kids are off Monday, having to go back to the bus stop on Tuesday, this is what it's going to feel like when they get outside, in the teens for some of our northern counties, 20s for parts of our central counties, as well as down to our south. So just a very cold few few mornings, including tomorrow. Those high temperatures really not going to get all that warm. We're only going to top out in the mid-40s tomorrow afternoon, mid to upper 40s for your Tuesday, but plenty of sunshine will be with us for the first half of the week. There's that rain chance I was talking about Thursday into Friday as of right now, and the warmer temperatures. But tomorrow's just going to be a really cold Martin Luther King holiday. If you're headed to that breakfast tomorrow morning,
exactly,
it's going to be a cold one.
Going to be a cold one, bright and early at 7 a.m. the morning. It gets underway with the breakfast at the Columbus Trade Center.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be cold, though.
All right. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Coming up, we're just a few weeks away from the Super Bowl, believe it or not, and the strong teams are starting to emerge in the playoffs. The highlights straight ahead. Plus, the Carolina Panthers look to carry over their regular season success to the playoffs. Can they beat a tough Seattle team, though, at home?
From WTVM Sports Leader 9, Paul Stockman.
Well, Seattle knows all about the rain. I mean, they've got the most rainfall of any major U.S. city. But Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers, well, they hope to make it rain in this afternoon's playoff matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. Newton and company looking to go to the NFC Championship game where the Arizona Cardinals wait. First quarter, Panthers up 7-0. Russell Wilson's pass is intercepted by Luke Kuechly. He takes it to the house for the pick six. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Carolina up 14-0. Then in the second, Panthers up 24-zip. Cam Newton zips it to Greg Olsen for the diving 19-yard score. 31-0 at half. Carolina in full control. But Seattle trying to come back in the second half. Wilson finds Tyler Lockett for the 33-yard touchdown to make it 31-14. And then in the fourth, Seattle still coming back. Wilson under a little bit of pressure from the defense, but he will throw one up, caught by Jermaine Kearse in the end zone to pull within 10. Then later in the fourth, a field goal makes it a one-score game, 31-24. Seahawks just need to get an onside kick to stay in the game. Here it comes in the final minute, but Georgia's Thomas Davis comes up with the big grab, the veteran Wiley in that endeavor. 31-24, Carolina Panthers go on to win. They go to the NFC Championship. Also today, Broncos facing the Steelers in the AFC divisional round. Winner gets the New England Patriots. First quarter, Broncos up 6-0, but the Steelers were driving. Fitzgerald Toussaint with the 1-yard score gives them the 7-6 lead. The rest of this game, though, all about field goals. Late in the second quarter, Broncos looking to cut the lead to 1. Brandon McManus setting up for the 51-yarder with the wind at his back, and the wind carried the ball a little bit to the right there, but still sneaks through. 10-9 Steelers at the half. Let's go to the fourth quarter. 13-12 Pittsburgh. Toussaint gets the handoff, breaks to the outside, but the ball is popped out, and DeMarcus Ware falls on it. Broncos have the ball. That leads to this. A 1-yard touchdown by C.J. Anderson. Broncos would then get a 2-point conversion. They go on to win 23-16 and head to the AFC Championship. Another Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning action coming up here. The Auburn University campus, though, they're buzzing today after the Auburn Tigers pulled off the major upset yesterday against number 14 Kentucky on the hardwood. They're partying like it's 2000. It's the first win against Kentucky in 18 tries and the first one since the year 2000. The Tigers had trouble at times with the Wildcats, but were able to go on a second-half run thanks to Kareem Canny and Tyler Harris. They combined for 48 of Auburn's 75 points yesterday. Head coach Bruce Pearl said it was a huge win for the program to get them some national recognition.
When you beat a team like Kentucky, then all of a sudden you have an opportunity to be nationally relevant, even if it's for a very, very short period of time. You saw the environment. ESPN saw the environment. This is a good and a home court environment in a big game as yours in college basketball. You know, it probably was a good time to get Kentucky. We needed a game like an opponent like this to kind of give us a chance to feel better about ourselves. And I just thought our kids, did a really good job.
Pearl and the Tigers will next face Avery Johnson and the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Iron Bowl of basketball. That game coming up on Tuesday. So how would the women do against Kentucky? They face the number 9 Wildcats on the road this afternoon, hoping for their own upset. Third quarter, Tigers trailing by 8. Janiah McKay for 3, gets it to go. The freshman pulls Auburn within 5. Then later in the third quarter, Kentucky on the fast break after the steal. Michaela Epps going to the basket, gets the foul. The and one puts the Wildcats up by 10. Auburn trying to hang in there, though. Brandy Montgomery for the long 2 here. She led all scorers with 15 points, but Kentucky's Taylor Murray was the big contributor for the Wildcats today. She gets a 3 here wide open. They give her 14 for the game. Auburn loses 54-47. Also in women's basketball, Georgia and Alabama matching up in Tuscaloosa. Pick it up in the second quarter. Bama up by 8. Karila Middlebrooks banks in a 3 to extend the lead to 11. She led all scores with 17. Georgia keeping it close in the second half. Patrice Roberts with a 3-point jumper pulls the Dogs within 2. But Alabama too good today. They go on to win this one 64-50. And that is your look at sports. Back to you guys.
A lot of great action on the hardwood and on the gridiron today.
Yeah, big day for Auburn folks. Big weekend for Auburn folks with Cam Newton and then, of course, the win against Kentucky yesterday.
All right, sounds great. All right, thank you, Paul. And in the morning, it's going to be cold as you head out the door in the morning if you're going to be participating in some of the MLK festivities.
Yeah, that or if you're not one of the lucky ones and have to go to work in the morning, it's going to be cool. Temperatures near 30 degrees, but we'll have plenty of sunshine for your Monday, so that'll wake you up, getting you up and early. It'll just be a blast of cold air when you step outside, because remember, those feel-like temperatures are going to be much colder than the actual air temperature, so it's a bundle-up kind of morning.
Yeah, the feel-like temperatures are the ones you have to worry about.
Exactly, that's what it feels like.
Exactly. All right, thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Have a great one, everyone.